Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Avorion 2.0 with Lone Debater 7, and today we are going to be talking about the changes to ship captains with the Avorion 2.0 update. Because it is quite interesting in my opinion, and I really do like the mechanic changes. So, let's dive in. First things first, if you've played Avorion before, you are probably familiar with the idea of a captain as a crew member. Basically what the captain will do is allow you to give your ship's orders even when the player, are not exactly controlling that ship. Meaning, I can have 4 or 5 different ships built, all running at the same time, and only flying only one of those ships myself, and still get a bunch of stuff done, assuming all the ships have captains. So captains have always been kind of a center or focal point of scaling your economy in Avorion, so it is quite important to understand how the captain mechanics work in Avorion 2.0 because that has not changed. You still need to expand your fleet, have several ships with captains on them so you can give them orders to give you enough time to actually progress, do the progression type mission stuff and get over the barrier, but not lose out on gathering resources and credits. So, alright. With that being said, hopefully that made sense to you all. Basically what Avorion 2.0 update has done to captains is it has completely reworked how the crew type operates. So as opposed to coming up to a station like this and saying hire crew and seeing a captain inside of this little guy and you can order like 20 of them and just have them chilling on your ship, now the place you're going to be looking for captains is up at the very top. So this station does not have a captain. It says no captain. If it did have a captain, their symbol would be here if it was class, and it'd show their perks with the higher option. So there's no captain at this station, that's fine. But that's where you would look. If you're trying to find a captain for your ship, you would look at the top bar there on the station. Now, the easiest way to find captains in the sector when you first get there is push the N key on your keyboard to open the strategy menu. It'll open up with the overview, which will show you all the stations and ships in the system, which is useful in itself. But there's a goods option now, which shows you all the goods, supply and demand for the various stations in the sector. There's a bulletin board option, which shows you all the various missions in the sector. And then there's a crew option, which shows you all the crew available to hire in the sector. Now, the primary focus of this crew tab is it shows you the captains that are available in the sector as well, and it shows you if they are trained or not. So as you can see, there are classes for captains now. So you can hire just a basic captain, like this gentleman right here. If we speak to him and look, it's Nasoksa, is a tier 0 captain, specializes when reaches level 5. They gain experience when you assign them missions and they complete them successfully. So that makes sense, hopefully. And then they have perks and quirks. Now, these are a randomized pool, so they can have more than one. They can have several different ones, and some are good, some are bad. So this is a reckless pirate, or reckless captain, so they're more likely to be attacked. So this is not, but they can travel through the galaxy faster. So this might be a decent scout captain to do scouting missions, but maybe not the best mining or salvaging captain because they're more likely to get ambushed, which means their ambush percentage will be higher, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Now, there are trained types of captains as well. An example would be this Commodore class from the military outpost. As you can see, when they're trained, they have like an actual badge in the top part that shows you what class they are, and this symbol is the same. So if I found another Commodore captain, they'd have this same badge. But yeah, basically when they have a classification or a specialty, it will give them an additional bonus out beyond the perks and quirks section. So for a Commodore, you gain an additional 2 armed turret slots and additional 4 auto turret slots for free if this captain is the captain of the ship. So a Commodore would be useful if you're building like a defensive frigate type ship, or a guard ship, or an escort ship, whatever. A Commodore class captain would be great. The perks and quirks, these can be like if you shop around for these to get really good ones, you can get pretty OP captains that do their stuff really, really fast and are really good at their job. I wouldn't worry too much about the perks and quirks. It's not going to change stuff too drastically from just like if I had a Commodore with no perks and quirks versus a Commodore with like 1 positive, 1 negative quirk, or a negative quirk, or just a single positive quirk or whatever. It's not going to change that much. The main thing that changes with the captains in Avorion 2.0 is they are way more expensive. So as you can see, this captain costs over 100,000 credits to hire to our ship. And that's generally the case for all the captains. They're going to be between 100 and 200,000 credits, depending upon what their specialty is, and then what tier they are. So you can find captains that are like tier 3 or tier 4 and hire them at that level straight out the gate, but they cost significantly more and their salary is significantly more. So just bear those things in mind when you're selecting your captains. Now, outside of the Commodore and no class captains, there are specialized types that you are most likely going to want to look for. Those are going to be the Merchant, the Miner, and the Salvager. What I would suggest is get a Merchant captain as soon as possible, because Merchant trade routes are way better than stations for the early game when you're trying to get your economy going. It just is way better. I got 200,000 credits in approximately 12 minutes. I don't even have a station. I have 4 ships total, and none of them even have Neonite on them. We're approximately 7 hours into the game, so yeah, that's pretty huge, because generally you're not going to be making 200,000 credits every 10 to 12 minutes until you have like 5 or 6 stations or mines constantly selling stuff, right? And that takes a lot of time just to get the credits to build the mines, A, and then B, to build up the like the commerce or the freighters to come to the station. So like when you build the station initially, there's like a delay after it's constructed before a merchant ship will come over and buy goods from it. So you have to wait for that as well, and then you have to pay the price of the station. So in one mission of building a merchant ship, like this ship I believe cost me approximately 200,000, maybe including the captain 300,000. I paid for that in like 1 flight out of 3 on the first mission this one did. This is its second mission. It's doing 2 flights. So when this one comes back, I'll get all my money back. But anyway, merchant captains will allow you to do the trade automation mission for your captains, or issue that command. If you don't have a merchant captain, you're not going to be able to do it. You can technically do it with a no class captain. They're just not going to be as effective, and you may not get as good of trading routes, or you may not be able to fly all the trading routes, because if it's like military goods or hazardous goods or whatever, non-merchant captains can't fly those goods in a trade route. So just bear that in mind. There are specific Salvager captains as well. They're called Salvagers, I believe. So that will boost how many unarmed turret slots you have available, as well as how fast it'll salvage. It might give it a modifier on if like it's guaranteed to find turrets and stuff like that. It just depends on those captains a little bit more. Then there's also mining captains. I don't have either a Salvager or a miner, unfortunately, but there is a mining captain. And basically, it does a similar thing to the Salvager, increases the number of unarmed slots so you can increase the mining laser count. But the other cool thing about the mining captain is it will basically give the ship a mining system for free, because they will highlight hidden resource asteroids up to a certain level based off of the tier of the captain. So it's pretty cool. As I use these captains, even though they're no class, as you can see, they're both tier 2 or level 2 at this point. They're tier 0 but level 2. And the reason why they're level 2 is because they both have completed 1 mission already. So I bought them at level 1 captain, 0% XP. So when they completed their first mission each, which took 2 hours of mining and salvaging, they gained a full level. When they reach level 5, whatever mission gives them the experience that pushes them to level 5 will set the specialization for your captain. So if I want this captain of this ship to be a salvaging captain, I need to make sure that the mission that pushes him over, so like when he's level 4 or like half or close to hitting level 5, I need to make sure that this ship gets a salvaging mission in order to turn this captain into a specialized salvaging captain. Same with the miner. I can do the same thing when it gets to level 5. If it does a mining mission, when it reaches level 5, it'll turn into a mining captain. So you can take no classed captains and turn them into the specialty you want. It just takes more missions in order to do it. So you can kind of weigh the cost of a specialized captain versus that of a non-specialized and see what's going to be or make the most sense for you. But there are other captain types besides merchant, Commodore, miner, and salvager. There's also a smuggler captain type, which is good if you're going to do raiding or like some of the smuggler missions. I believe there is here, if we pick one of these, I can see the icons here. So you've got, well, this ship doesn't have a captain, but I can kind of get an idea. So there's also like exploration missions. So there's an explorer captain type. So basically you can send them out into a completely undiscovered region of space. So like, let's say I wanted to know what was out here without having to fly down or fly a ship over. I can send, if I was to build a ship right here with an explorer specialized captain on it, I could give it an exploration mission to uncover what's out here for me automatically, and it'll determine if there's anything of value out there, which is pretty cool. There's just a general scout command, which will send your ship to uncover all the sectors in a given square. And the square is this size, same size box as this. When you set for scrapping or mining, they get an automation box of this size, so they will scrap any material inside of this box that they can find within their time limit. Same with the miners. And the merchant, same thing, they just have trade routes set within this region. But anyway, that's basically how the captains work. The other thing that's worth noting, you can still carry more than one captain on your ship. So when you get your first captain and your ship has no captain, it'll socket it in the captaincy. That makes sense. Not a big deal. You'll have a captain, right? If you buy more, they will fill up your passenger slots down here. So these are dependent, A, upon your crew quarters. So if I hired 2 captains, my crew quarters would be full, but I'd have one here and one here. If I hired a 3rd captain, it would push my crew quarters beyond what I could hold, so I wouldn't actually be able to hire that captain without expanding crew quarters. But you can potentially have 19 times 2, so what is that, 38? 38 total captains is how many you can have. In addition to the one on the ship, so 39 total on the ship at a time. Not that you really need that. You just would put captains in the passenger bay. If you found a specific captain with traits that you like and you don't want to build a ship there, there's not a shipyard or something in that sector, you can transport them via one of your ships via that passenger drop area down here. So hopefully that explains how captains work. When you have a captain, you can utilize the Autopilot Command, which is cool. So you can mine the sector, salvage sector. So these are like the old school automation with captains. So mine sector is like the old school mine automation command for Avorion. Pre 2.0 update, this is what the mine sector AI autopilot order does. Salvage sector, same thing. Repair is only if it has repair stuff, same with attack. So okay, hopefully that made sense. So you can do old school automation. Old school automation does not give captain experience, however. So it is worth doing the galaxy map level automation of your ships because it will increase the level of your captains, which improves their resource yield, improves their ability to do their job. It means they do their job faster usually, and it decreases their ambush probability. So like it's worth upgrading your captain's level. It's worth upgrading your captain's tier, which you do that through galaxy map mission assignment. So make sure if you get captains, try to utilize this type of automation as much as possible. It may be worth having a couple of like auto mining ships or auto salvaging ships or something like that, or maybe one of each that you bring along with you or something. I don't know. Play how you want, obviously, but that's just my 2 cents. I think it is worth upgrading the captains. And the only way you can do that is by giving them missions through the galaxy map. So hopefully that made sense on what has changed with the captain crew type for Avorion 2.0. If it did, be sure to let me know down in the comments section below. And if I missed anything, let me know down there as well. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe both on YouTube and on Twitch at LoneDebater7. That way you get notified when I go live. Part of this series is done via live stream, and I don't want you guys to miss out of any of the progression that we do in this series, so be sure you subscribe so you get notified when we go live. And you can join in on the fun. If you want to chat to me while we're playing on the live stream, be sure you're over on Twitch, because I do not have a way to monitor the live chat on YouTube. I do apologize for that, but it is what it is. It's just the way my streaming platform is set up. But guys, with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it as always. And until next time, this has been LoneDebater7, and we will see ya!